Yu-Gi-Oh! Mint.com is now TradingCardMint.com. Please check out their selection of over 20,000 cards with prices cheaper than TCG Player. After thousands of comments in the comments section, we're going to be profiling deleters. Now, guys, I need you to check out our friends down below at TradingCardMint.com. Without them, we wouldn't have the SP deleters that you see in this very beautiful deck. So, I'm going to come out right out of the floodgate here and say that this is the most helmet deck in Vanguard. The only thing you need to understand is how to fundamentally delete tap your Vanguard sideways, and you will be a skilled master deleter player. And I'll show you what your typical combo is to kill your opponent. Most of you, if you're probably watching this, you already know. But if you are new and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to my first tournament, well, we're going to be showing you what happens when you fucking piss off a deleter player. So, first off, 4 copies of, I never remember his, it's regular Grand. He's got the appropriate name change. But he has the ability, when you stride a deleter on top of it, you can check the top card of your deck. If it's a deleter, you get to call it to a rear guard, which is actually pretty good value. And then his actual good skill is counter boss 1, choose 2 of your deleters, retire them, and delete your opponent's Vanguard. If you go first, you ride this, delete your opponent's Vanguard, you proceed to kind of just start attacking away. And your opponent, if you aggro your opponent correctly at 2 to 3 damage, you can pretty much close the remainder of the gap with Grand. Now, 4 copies of this, 2 copies of this. This thing's terrible because it doesn't retire 2. It is CB2 retire 1 for the delete. And he doesn't actually have any other good skills other than when it's placed on Vanguard, your opponent has to delete bind 2, which, or vanish delete 2, but you always want this. Sometimes you get on this, it's okay, it happens. So, 6 grade 3s, no other real reason to go any further. Now, in terms of your combo, you're going to need 4 copies of Given. Now, that's a given, right? If your Vanguard is grade 3, and, well, our exact card text is counterboss 1 card with deleter, and retire this, and choose 4 of your guards with deleter in the card name and retire them. At the end of the battle, which is unit attack to Vanguard, if you have a grade 3 Vanguard with gray in its card name, you may pay its cost for you to stand all of your Vanguards. So, you will typically go swing Regard Column, attack, stand triggers, restand this, go into this, retire. If you have the stand triggers that repopulate or the starters, you'll be able to build more columns, swing, swing again, and then stand trigger, stand. There's a reason why we've maxed on the number of stand triggers in this deck. So, there's that. Next up, 4 copies of Our Colony Maker, which is expensive as hell. Like, CB2, to call any deleter from the deck, that, it's so costly for this. And also I had to specify you can't call it the same name, so we don't get bullshit with that. But you can CB2 into this. If your opponent has aggroed you on the turn you're going into Grand here, well, you're going to have Counterblast Sting ready to go. Also, you have to remember, if you have dual starters with Grand, they do both countercharge. So, you can kind of navigate as you do, but you need at least 3 damage for the combo, and pretty much everybody is going to kind of put you into the range of being able to do the combo, essentially. So, these 8 you can't argue with. The only other one you can argue with for your last slot is 4 copies with a 10k. You can do the one on hit your opponent can't stride on the next turn, which is another good option. And then there was another one, it's what the Legion Mate, when you lock, you get to delete. So you have a couple of options to you on what you want to do. We just put in the 10k bases to start testing. We haven't gone down the other routes yet, but this without a booster hits because the opponent's Vanguard's 0, which is really cool because if you delete, you put yourself where numbers matter. So this and the other 10k, we'll get to in a little bit, really do help, but 12 grade 2s. 4 perfect guards. This thing says when the Vanguard is deleted, bind this, choose a unit, give it 4k. You know what this does? It makes your Vanguard 15k without a booster. So, and it stays for the whole fucking turn. So when your Vanguard restands off of Given, you'll be able to beat them even harder. So even if they get a trigger and go to 5k, that'll still be a 15k threshold that they have to manage to get over. And really, as a player, I don't want to have to deal with that threshold. Literally, you're just playing numbers the deck. 3 copies of Stride Fodder, I know some people like more, because CB1 Call It When You Stride, it just gives you additional food for your strides. But, I mean, up until you stride, it's kind of worthless, which is kind of bad to say. But it is a substantial Stride Fodder. I wish we had the ability to search for our missing pieces, but that would make the deck a little bit too good. So, a good piece of candy there. Next up is the other 10k. You have a Deletor Vanguard. When it swings, it gains 3k. So you're going to have that ability to cross that threshold once again on the deleted Vanguard. Opponent's numbers doesn't matter because, well, you know, when they're deleted, you're good to go. 1 copy of Soul Blast 2 Guide, draw 1. A lot of people are indifferent about this. We were liking it because we don't really do anything with our soul. So you may as well give yourself an additional resource. 4 copies of the starter. Some people are playing 3. It's up to you. You gotta cut some stuff somewhere. So typically, when you delete, you'll retire this, and you'll get to call the top card of your deck, and then send it into Soul, countercharge damage. Replenishes everything that you counterblast so that you can do Given. 4 copies of the best stand trigger in the deck. It does the exact same thing as the starter, except doesn't countercharge. And then you top call gains 5k. So, fixes a lot of your problems. Cramping Deleter Eddie. Vanguard's deleted on call, draw a card. Really wish this was 5k, but you know, we can't always have good things. And then 4 copies of the Terrible Stand Trigger. We've been debating wanting to make this a Deleter crit. I'm indifferent about going down this approach, but I do like the 12 crit, or the 12 stand build, just because of the aggro you get from the restand off of this. I understand crits could be better for applying the extra damage on the no guard, but for the most part, we're still doing 12 stands. You can get cheeky and play 2 crits if you want, but it's up to you. And then 4 copies of Tellurium, the heal trigger. Now, pretend like you don't have a stride deck here. I'll teach you kind of what you want to do here. So, we're riding Given for turn, and we don't really have a field right now, but our field is this. Our opponent has Doge over here. So, we're like, you know what, we're going to delete and just get 3 damage open over here. We're like, you know what, we're going to delete you. So CB1, retire. We're like, okay, cool. So we're gonna top call Given, and we have another one of these here. Alright, so the only thing we need to do at this point is establish a little bit more credibility. So we're going to draw off of this, which is fine. I'm going to do one of these, and our life was incredibly terrible because we did this. So opponent's Vanguard is deleted. It's over. We don't have to deal with it. So you're going to go 15 attack. Cool. Opponent takes damage. Now you're swinging for 15 here. Also, my apologies, these are supposed to be underneath here, and damage is countercharged. So we're swinging 15 to the Vanguard. Your best case scenario, you drive check, a stand trigger, and something incredibly terrible. You're like, cool, I got 2 cards out of this. Alright, so go ahead and attack again. Attack with this. Skill of Given, counterblast 1. We're going to retire all of these. Our Vanguard restands. Now, this is where these come into play. When this is retired for Deletor card effect, you get to top call top card of your deck. So top call this, cool. Attack, 10 to 0. Attack with this, and this is where all these stand triggers come into play, because if you drive check like this, you get another attack. So you went 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6 attacks before your opponent has even rode into 3. It is insane advantage. It is super unfair for literally what this deck does. So there's that. Now, the stride part of this deck isn't so spicy, but you have 4 copies of this. It allows you to delete the Vanguard, so you can swing in over 30,000 on it. And it also gives you the ability to trigger Gray End to top call. So, more of a swarming aspect for the stride part, kind of trying to set up for this. 2 copies of Igorg. This thing is super expensive. It's kind of just a backup delete if the game goes that far. 2 Amnesty Messiah. God knows we hate the Link Joker mirror, so we gotta unlock our own shit. 1 copy of Sabreeze, because for some reason our opponent likes to put us into that place where we can do it. 2 G-Guardians of the Deletor for the massive power down. 2 Destiny Guardians, because we hate the mirror. 1 Racked Home to fix our shitty hands, 1 Screw to discard for extra power, and then 1 copy of Locus Carina for additional locking. G-Zone's pretty standard for what you would expect. It's just anti-Link Joker mirror stuff. So this is Deletors. Guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And I'm out, duelists. Remember, check out tradingcardmint.com down below in the description. Later, guys. That's not all, card fighters. Please subscribe for more Cardfight Vanguard content. Please remember to check out MCole40 for Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and please check out MColegames.com, my store, along with No Limit Gaming, NLGTCG.com for all of your guys' trading card game needs as well. Until next time, guys, remember to hit that subscribe button. Later.